So yeah, it's kind of hard to know whether we should be in like DEFCON 2, DEFCON 3, because now is a funny kind of time, really, isn't it? You know, you had the pandemic, then you got Russia, Ukraine, talk of nukes even, which is probably just sparring. But you kind of wonder. And then you've got all sorts of things on the periphery, like when the pandemic ended, suddenly um, the vaccine thing kind of went, the injections, it just kind of, the whole thing just fizzled, which I found kind of suspicious. Suddenly, boom. And yeah, and of course, but you've got lots of stuff, this kind of stuff on the periphery, digital ID, a universal digital cash. Um, it's not, I mean, those sort of things could be good as long as there's absolute privacy, and they're not used to control you. Like if you make a global digital currency and everyone has to use it, you say anything or do anything out of line, they take some of your money away or all of it, so money is the great controller, and actual cash, coins, that kind of thing, notes, they obviously up to a point, I mean, the actual money kind of controls your behavior to get some, but no one can see, the government and whoever else cannot track your coins and cash. You do what the hell you like with them. So there's this stuff on the periphery, and it almost reminds me of World War II. Reading the history of it and hearing people tell me about it over the years. That 1939, war was declared, but there was this incredible, luscious summer in Britain, I guess, and yeah, a sort of tranquil, delightful summer, like, nothing could be wrong with the world. And then, boom, it took off. And you kind of wonder, with all that's gone on, it's hard to say. There's a lot of things happening on the periphery. And who really knows? But the world has kind of gone over. And then, of course, we've got potential food shortages, which we're seeing a bit. And also, a lot of people are feeling the pinch, aren't they? Economies are getting, inflation is kind of got all these sorts of things. Prices are going up. People are being hit. And yeah, of course, they blame it on Russia. But it's I mean, you've got to find someone to blame, haven't you, if you kind of run a country, so it's difficult to say, but it does seem like there's a whole lot of crazy stuff going on, and it's how you deal with it, really. I mean, one of the things you've got to do is very much believe nothing, like Russia is the demonic bad guy. Well, if you look into the reportage coming out from independent journalists, maybe not. There's no Nazis in Ukraine. Well, only a few years ago, the various media were reporting on the Nazis in Ukraine, but now they don't exist. I'm not saying Russia is, the thing is just to, believe nothing. I mean, there is, truth is the most scarce commodity. There's hardly any of it anywhere. So if that could be money and you've got some truth, if that had a real value to it, it's so scarce that you would be a billionaire beyond belief. So yeah, the whole thing. But what you got to do, is believe nothing. And you haven't got to let your self-talk, internal dialogue run away with you, because that sends you crazy, because you cannot ascertain the truth of what's going on. Very, very difficult to do, and that bewilders, it also scares people. So the main thing is to keep the old internal dialogue still and keep critical thinking. Believe nothing. What's in it for people? Even the people that seem kind of good and all that, still ask what's in it for them. It could be financial, could be ego. You just don't know. So that's always a key, especially with governments. and all of them. But of course, I'm anti-government, and I would like to see either tiny, shrunken governments. So there's hardly anyone there. Run it like management. Don't be celebrity politicians. Just be good managers. Do a good job. That's what I say. Or get rid of them altogether. That's the sort of more anarcho-libertarian view, which is kind of mine. It's a pretty bad, government's been a pretty bad job, just lose them. But anyway, yeah, so the main thing is, takeaway is, believe nothing. You're being told, especially by governments, big corporations, billionaires, wealthy elites, World Economic Forum, International Monetary Fund, believe nothing.